All right, guys. So today we are learning about angles, okay? How to measure angles, okay? So our objective for today will be to measure angles, okay? And then make a relationship between angles, okay? So our objective is to measure angles and make conjecture about the relationship. Now, this is what we'll be doing together. We'll learn about measuring angles, naming angles as well, okay? And then I'll be teaching you about angles, and then so I'll teach you angles and addition postulate, okay? Angle addition postulate, okay? Now the first thing we have to know is to define what is an angle. I've been talking about angles so far, so we are measuring angles, but what is actually an angle? Okay, so let's go to the definition of an angle. Okay, so we say that an angle is a set, okay, it's a set of all points, okay, all points consisting all points consisting of two different is an F different rays that have the same endpoint, okay, that have the same end point, okay? Different ways that have the same end point. What do they mean? Okay, so we've already talked about a ray. So this is a ray, right? And this is another ray. You remember we talked about the definition of a ray. If that is the case, assuming that this is an M, okay? This is A, and this is ray T, okay? Now, this ray has the same endpoint, and this one also have the same endpoint, okay? So, whatever is formed here is called an angle. Do you get what I'm saying? Whatever that is formed here is called an angle, okay? Now, our next important thing is that now that we know what is an angle and how it is formed, okay, assuming that I put one over here, okay, I can name, look at the symbol, okay, this means that if I do that symbol, it means two rays. That means this is an angle 1, okay. I can also name it by the endpoint, which is called the vertex, okay, which is M, okay. So we can name an angle by number, okay, or by a vertex. Okay, this is how we spell a vertex. Okay, the point here, there. If it's two rays meet, we call them vertex. Okay, Another way of naming this angle is by using 3 points. It's either we name it A from one side, AMT, called angle AMT. Remember that the vertex is in the middle. Okay, so by 3 points, okay, with vertex in the middle, okay, with vertex in the middle. It's very important. In middle, okay. Another way is to name it from 3 points this way, okay. So I can name it TMA. Remember also here the vertex is in the middle as well. So 3 points, okay. So vertex in middle, okay. Remember that thing. So the first thing you have to notice is that the angle is named with this symbol, two rays. Okay, this is one ray, this is another ray. Okay, it seems as if it's a greater than symbol. Okay, actually less than symbol. Okay, so your left is your less than, and then your right is your. So it shows as if it's a less than symbol, okay? So that is how you name an angle. You can name the angle by a number, can name it by a vertex, and you can also name it by 3 points. So there are 4 different ways of naming an angle, okay? Now the next thing we are going to look at, okay, is called, so the next thing I'm going to look at is when I want to classify angles, okay? Classifications of angles. So classifying angles, okay? How do we classify angles? So classifying angles, okay? So classifying angles, okay? The first angle we want to talk about is called the acute angle, okay? Acute angle, okay? This angle measures between 0 and 90. So acute angles are in the form this way, okay? They are smaller and they measure between 0 degrees to 90 degrees, okay? So acute angles measure between 0 degrees to 90 degrees, okay? Then we have what we call the right angle, okay? The next one we are looking at is here, right angle, okay? Right angle, okay? This one measures in 90, okay? So this symbol means it measures 90, okay? Measures 90 degrees, okay? So right angles are always 90 degrees, okay? That symbol at the top is 90 degrees, okay? What angle do we have more to look at, okay? We have what we call the obtuse angle, okay? Obtuse angle, okay? They are mostly wider, so you notice that I did it this way because it is not 90, it's a bit further from the 90, and this, okay, measures more than 90, okay, but it's less than, measures between 90 to 180, okay? Then finally we just have a straight line, okay? Straight line, okay? Straight line. Okay, just like that. This has an angle here which measures 180. So straight line, every straight line you see has an angle 180, okay? Measures 180, okay? All right, so these are the things that we're talking about today, okay? So we said obtuse angles measures between 90 and 180. Acute angles are measured between 0 and 90. You see them. Then we have right angle, which is a 90. And then we have obtuse angle, which are between 90 and 180. And then straight lines are just 180 degrees, okay? Now, the next topic I want us to talk about is congruent angle. Congruent, okay? Congruent, like we said in the various when we're measuring lines, okay? Congruent means they are the same, okay? Congruent angles means they are the same. Angles have this same measure. So, definition, angles that have the same measure are called angles that have the same measure, are called, okay, so angles that have the same measure are called congruent angles, okay? For example, this is an example. remember, if I have an angle, remember this is a ray, okay? I have an angle and this is 35, and I name it D, O, and G, okay? Then I have another angle facing here, which is C, A, and T. Remember how we name, and this is also 35, okay? Remember how we name an angle? We start from this point, so we do the symbol D, O, G. Okay, you can see that this is 35, and this is also 35. So you say DOG is equal to C, from this side, so 3-point naming, CAT, okay? This is a 3-point naming. It means angle dog is equal to angle cat, okay? Yeah, this is the only time dogs are the same as cat, okay? But yeah, but the angle is called DOG, not dog, okay? Remember that I put the middle one to be the vertex. That is very important. So the middle one is, the vertex is always in the middle, okay? All right, so now we are going to do some example, okay? All right, so basically I'll go around and we'll do some example, right? So